Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another crypto update, especially focused today on BTC. And we must say it how it is, guys. We were right. We were right on the perfect movement of BTC from our last update on the 27th, which was about a week ago. And BTC did exactly what we said. Now, very interesting to see is exactly what BTC is doing now, and we're going to speak about that and how we can capitalize on that for the next couple of days and upcoming, right? So first of all, obviously, for the ones tuning in for the first time, you can see we are in a bearish confirmed sequence. We nearly finished the bearish sequence over here, so we are in a bearish scenario, and we need to think in a bearish scenario means more sell entries than buy entries, right? Now, the first thing what you will see here in my chart are the heavy limit orders that I marked out in the market, sell limits, right? Red always means sell limits. So if I zoom in, you can see we perfectly here respected the 93K area where we had a lot of sell limits that we spoke about last time, where I predicted that we most likely are going to react in one of these three levels, right? As you can see, I tried one trade over here, then stopped out, right? Basically got stop loss hit, which is completely okay. Was more planned as an intraday trade, and then basically we touched perfectly the 93K line and then started to bounce off. Now we're getting a lot of buy pressure in, and we will check in the heat map later together in the orders to make the new predictions. But so far, pretty much clear game plan is going here up again to at around 98.5K. People are going to say Bitcoin is back, we're going to go higher, we're going to crack a new all-time high, which in my opinion is all bullshit. And then we're going to bounce off here the 50% correction of the bearish correction level, because again, we are in a bearish confirmed sequence. This whole move is a bearish confirmed sequence. We are on a strong downtrend, as you can see here by the EMA 200. It got touched and tested a couple of times. And now we're going to come back for this retest basically, right? So my prediction is that we're going to come to the 50% correction level, which is 98,476 per BTC. From there, we're going to bounce off. So something like that is what is going to happen. And then really finish down the sequence, right? Second scenario obviously could be that we go to the 50% correction, 98K, start to build up more bullish momentum, break it, and then either slam down or continue the bullish momentum. And then it could maybe change our prediction in the sense of then we start to be a little bit more bullish. But all in all, prediction number one is the most likable outcome, where again we're going to bounce off the 50% correction, which is 98K, and that's also where I'm going to start selling. So you can see my sell entry is a little bit before the 98K, right here at 98,022, and that's where I'm going to start to sell, enter a swing trade, a big one, with 11% stop loss, but then with a 33% take profit, which leads to our 65K level basically, where I most likely see Bitcoin going in this whole move to 65K. And until we don't clear this level of 65K, I don't think that we're gonna see any new all-time high soon. So I think it's going to take a couple of months. I'm not saying it's going to be a big drop. I'm not going to say it's just going to bounce to 65K with one move, obviously, but there's going to be continuous bearish pressure down to 66, 65K. And from there, we then finally finish the bullish, or we enter the bullish correction level, right? Which we have. We have a finished bullish sequence at 127K, 126K. And from there on, we can literally go to 65K, which we should. Come here, clear this level, and then really make new highs. So basically, as you can see, already pointed it out, something like this, okay? So for now, I'm going to continuously be bearish. Could have there been a buy entry over here? Definitely, which again, I'm not going to trade against the move, but there was a buy entry over here. As you can see, we perfectly bounce into the bullish correction level of this internal structure. Here, as you can see on the 50% and 7% or 0.667 Fibonacci, which gives us the buy entry area, right? Now, obviously, that is very important to understand. But at the same time, you can also see we are coming into a bearish correction level, right? Which we could bounce off from here directly, right? Just grabbing some sell liquidity and then really go even further down. That's another scenario. But I truly believe what I marked out here with these arrows is what's going to happen, right? So basically, if I would zoom out again into a daily chart, then this is the most likable outcome in my opinion, where we go to the 50%, we come back down to the whole correction bullish, right? And from there we're gonna pick it up and then basically make new highs, right? So which would be this one over here. Okay, well, this one we can delete, it's too far away. But yeah, that's all about BTC. That's going to be very interesting. Now Dixie is correcting lower, right? and bouncing off for the second time of the EMA 200. We have right now we have FOMC meeting. So if you go and check the news, we have FOMC member Brown is speaking, and then it's going to be maybe giving us a little bit more outcome in the direction of where we're going to go with the rate cuts. But rate cut probability is very high for December 10th, I think. Now I'm just waiting here on the Walter Bloomberg account for any updates regarding rate cuts, right? There is no or none such so far, okay? But yeah, Dixie weak is normally pretty good for crypto. So Dixie being pretty weak is good for crypto, because if Dixie goes down, crypto goes up, and that's what we're seeing right now. Crypto is up. You see 10% on Casper, 8% on Link, 5% on LTC. So the coins are coming up. Sui is definitely leading currently with 15% in SPX on the coins that we are watching and we are checking out, right? So that is the game plan for BTC, and let's go into the order book and see if we can confirm that or not. If we check here on Market Monkey, which is basically our heat map tool that we take, there was a lot of buy orders somewhere over here that got filled. Yeah, here this one with 103 million. That's why we bounced off so strongly. But if we are now in the H4 chart, right? We are in the H4 chart for BTC. You can see that there is currently basically the only key level that is interesting to us, which is a former key level, was here, the 993, where we bounced off. So if you remember this area where we had this this candle, this wick that wicked perfectly into 93k, basically then got triggered here by this heavy 105 million worth of BTC, and just above it there was another one with 97 million sitting there, right? Let's turn off the volume bubbles. The volume we can keep, an order book pressure bands also, so we just have the clear chart, and then you can basically see how here this is the 93k bubble that candle that went into the 93 area and then got triggered with 103 million. Then we started to have some buys over here where you can see a lot of volume, and then again right now we had a couple of buys that got triggered. They were sitting over here, 200 million, so that's why we have this big volume coming up. But as you can see right now, there's not so much in terms of clear direction. If we now move a little bit to the left side, so a little bit lower orders, you can see we have 88 million sitting at 96k, and if you go into 96k, you will see that is coming closer to our 98k area, and then we have 96 is pretty interesting, and then these ones are old orders. Yeah, but 96 definitely is an interesting area so far, but we'll need to see how it develops. And then you can see we start to have some buy limit orders sitting here at 74, but nothing amazing, nothing crazy. Yeah, nothing really giving us a lot of direction, to be very honest right now. Let's check quickly here on Velo, which actually, by the way, for you guys is a free tool on order book. So if you don't want to pay, I prefer Market Monkey, but it costs money. But if you want to use a free tool, this one is pretty good. And they actually locked me out for whatever reason, so let me log in quickly. But this is a pretty sick tool. Give me 1 second, guys. I need to drink some water. My throat's so dry. But yeah, at 96 you can really see where the next level is, where we most probably are gonna be heading to. I'm right now here in the 1 hour chart for BTC, and you can see we have a lot of sell liquidity sitting at 96k. That's why I like to use Velo, because you actually have the right side order book showing, right? So you can see here's a big level at 96k. So I might actually even move our BTC trade entry a little bit lower to 96. So our entry would be at 95.9, basically, something like that so far. But that might change, right? If I really want to get this whole move, then that's probably just to make sure, because if there's missing volume in general, it happens a lot that we don't come into the areas. Like for example here, we didn't come into the sell area. We started to react way before, or not way, but before that. So I just want to make sure that if we trade this heavy swing trade, I'm in it for sure, and I don't mind the drawdown, right? If we even see these levels, we might not see these levels, but then you can also see it's perfectly where the EMA 200 comes in on the H4. But yeah, looking into this here, into the heat map, let's collect everything on 50 million level. So we just move this over, so we only get the orders of 50 million. And again, same thing obviously over here, but what I want to show you here, how big this impact is. And unfortunately, I don't think we can move this make it any bigger, but it is what it is, okay? Besides that, open interest dropped a lot. Velo aggregate tape count, okay, also nothing really interesting. Funding rate is positive again, okay. But yeah, there's nothing really interesting besides that. So most likable outcome is scenario number one that we spoke about. Let's check the liquidation heat map. There's actually some liquidation sitting above 93k, 95k sell orders, so they might get triggered, and then you have heavier ones at 90. Yeah, the 95k area is actually, as you can see here, getting really interesting. So that's where people get liquidated, right? And most likely we're gonna go there, liquidate the people, and with the leverage positions as always, and then come down and take this liquidity, right? But that's the current outlook for crypto. Anything else that is going to be interesting? The USDT dominance dropped, right? Which again, that's what we said before. We are in a bearish correction level. We are bouncing off of it. So that means more money is going into the market, and we could, because at the end of the day, we could drop even more and get more bullish then, but we need to see step by step, right? It's easy to predict one week, basically. That's why we do these updates week to week, but it can change very fast, right? Even in the order book, we could start to get heavy buys in, like we got it before here on the lower level, and then this could turn, right? But right now, at the end of the day, yeah, it is what it is, and we need to trade what we see and follow it, right? That's just how it goes in trading. Like, let's not try to predict things that we cannot predict, where we're just guessing, and guessing makes no sense. But we can work out right now a game plan, and that is the game plan, right? I wouldn't sell over here, I wouldn't buy over here, to be honest. It's just random moves here. We're in the random move area, so all of this is very unpredictable. We could see if in the next couple of hours we get a lot of sell orders in. So let's say we open like big blocks over here, like big sells, right? Then obviously we could start seeing an interest in selling again. But I don't think so. I think we're gonna go to here, the 96k area, and from here we're gonna bounce off. So just gonna mark it out like that. Let me actually see if this analysis is perfectly fine. And for what I see, it is. Just need to move it down by a little bit. Okay. Yeah, so then also we are strong trend continuation on the 0.382 Fibonacci. So every time a price comes into the 0.38 Fibonacci level, this one, and bounces off, it's a very strong confirmation for a downtrend. That sometimes happens. It's rare, but it sometimes happens, and shows us how strong the downtrend actually is. And I think we also had it here. We came into the correction level. Did we? 938. Yeah, we touched the 50%, but somewhere I remember, somewhere over here we touched the 0.38. But yeah, it's an indicator for very strong trend continuation downwards so far, right? And let's see if there's any new orders that came in, but it doesn't seem like it that there's anything interesting right now. Yeah, we just need to keep watching this. But yeah, that's it for now, guys. Quick update on the next steps when it comes to BTC. I'm definitely going to enter the sell. I'm just gonna wait and then enter a sell limit position on my exchanges and just gonna sit this out and see how it goes. For me, there's no reason right now, not even fundamentally, to be overall bullish. I think we're gonna again continue to the 65k. But yeah, with that being said, guys, make sure to like, follow. If you need anything, put it in the comments. You can always contact me on Instagram when it comes to any questions. And thank you for the great feedback that I got on all of the events, trading meetups and stuff, where people came up to me and said, wow, it's crazy how you predict BTC. But you can see transparently how I do it, and you can also do it. I believe that, right? So yeah, with that being said, guys, see you in the next one.